What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Deportivo Alaves in La Liga. It is the final match before the third, I believe, international break of the season. But look, we are in a moment where we just need a win, and also, what more importantly, you could even say, we need a good performance over the past 210 minutes of football in Football Club Barcelona. It has been absolutely shocking, and this is the moment to turn everything around just before the international break, because after the international break, it'll be a crucial season-defining moment for Barcelona, and it all starts here. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 4:15 p.m. local time, so we do have the very early kickoff in La Liga tomorrow. It's been a while since we played at that kickoff time. Well, the Clásico was the last time, but before the Clásico, it's been a while, and this match will be taking place at the Estadi Olímpic Stadium in Montjuic, which of course is the home of Barcelona. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed, and it is a new referee for Barcelona. It will be Mateo Ferreira. He is one of the new referees that's come in this season. He's the youngest referee as well. It will be his first ever Barcelona match, and on the VAR it will be Miguel Angel Arias. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in third place in La Liga on 27 points. After playing 12 matches, we have 8 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. Our last 5 games in the leagues are 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So 2 games where we drop points in the past 5, which is a very terrible record. And of course, first place at the moment is Girona on 31 points. After playing 12 matches, they have 10 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, only dropping point in 2 matches the whole season, where Barcelona have done it in their past 5 games. Of course, we are currently 4 points off the top of the table, 2 points off Real Madrid in second place on 29 points, and 2 points ahead of Atletico Madrid in 4th place. But they do, of course, have that game in hand against Sevilla, so you could say if all games are played, Barcelona are currently 4th. Look, we're in a situation where it's just now about momentum. Yes, we're still early on, and I told you guys this before, I'll say it again, Girona will not be in the top 3 come the end of the season. If they do, I will be shocked, but I'm very confident that won't be the case. They will drop off at some point. They can't keep up this momentum. We've seen so many teams do this over the past years, where they're first, second, lingering first, second, and third, and they kind of drop off into 4th come the end of the season. So I'm not really worried about Girona. It's more about Real and Atletico, who have been doing fairly well this season, aimed what happened last season, of course. If you take a look at the top teams who they'll be facing this weekend, Girona will actually be playing Rayo Vallecano in about the next half an hour, so they'll be taking that on that match. Later on today will also be Real Madrid versus Valencia, and then tomorrow, I believe, after our match, will be Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. Villarreal sacked their manager the other day, so it should be a comfortable victory for Atletico. Valencia have been low-key very good this season, but at the Bernabeu, I expect Real Madrid to win it. Girona away to Vallecano, we'll see later on today. That could be drop points, so what the competition is doing, I think Barcelona have to win this game to even have a sniff of, moving up in the table, because I think everyone's going to win this weekend. So we'll wait and see on that. But again, for Barcelona, it comes down to beating your opponents. Keep in mind, we play Girona and Atletico Madrid back-to-back after the international break. That will be crucial, season-defining for La Liga. If we win both those games, 100% we are in the La Liga title race. If we lose both or drop points in both, I honestly think we are out of the title race come December, which will be an absolute embarrassment after, of course, we are the defending champions. But again, so far, I wouldn't say it's all lost. We are a bit behind, still some catching up to do, but again, still a lot of time to do that. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Deportivo Alaves and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 14th place in La Liga on 12 points. After playing 12 matches, they have 3 wins, 3 draws, and 6 losses. You look at the last 5 games in the league, 2 losses, 2 draws, and a win. So they're currently averaging a point a game so far this season, and are currently only 5 points off the relegation zone. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Deportivo Alaves, who of course are one of the 3 newly promoted sides this season. They went down when we were in the 21-22 season, but then they came immediately back up the next season after that, and now they're back in the top flight. The last time we did face them in all competition was an away match, where Barcelona barely won 1-0. This was the season when Xavi was just coming in. I believe Xavi was the manager for this game, if I'm not mistaken. It took place in January, and of course he came in November. If you look at that lineup, bloody hell, I mean, tomorrow you'll see maybe like what, Pedri, Araujo, Ter Stegen, and that's it. Of course, De Jong injured, and the rest, or maybe you can see Ferran start, honestly, for being honest, but it's a crazy change. But if you remember this game, it was very, very tight. It was one of the worst games that we played in a very, very long time, but we snuck away with 3 massive points. And it was a game in which Deportivo Alaves used the home crowd. They were on top of us. We weren't playing well. They almost scraped the win, but it was a late De Jong winner to give Barcelona all 3 points. Now, if you take a look at Alaves' last 6 matches in all competition, in their last match, they beat Almeria 1-0. They had a final Copa del Rey round where they beat their opponents, Deportivo Moquegua, 10-0. Madness. They lost to Atletico Madrid 2-1. They drew 1-1 with Villarreal. They drew 1-1 with Betis, and they lost to Osasuna 2-0. Now, of course, I'm not going to analyze the 10-0 victory in the Copa del Rey, but we'll take a look at just only their last 3 league matches. First up is the 1-1 draw against Villarreal. Keep in mind, Villarreal have been absolutely shocking this season. Thank Gavi beat them, by the way, because if we dropped points in that game, that would have been an embarrassment. Look, it was a game where you could tell that both teams were at a fairly even level. Alaves got the goal first early on in the second half, and then Villarreal pulled one back near the end of the game. Alaves, made a stance on themselves. They put in a decent performance. Of course, on paper, Villarreal are a much better side away from home as well. This game was at the Estadi de la Cerámica, so it was, of course, a very tough atmosphere, very difficult stadium to go to, and they managed to walk away with a point. So that's, of course, a very mean feat for them. Next up is their 2-1 loss to Atletico Madrid. Now, the scoreline doesn't really suggest how the game actually played out. I would say it's a fairly even game, but in the end, Madrid were 2-0 up, and then Alaves got a goal late on in the extra time in the 9th minute. Just a consolation goal to make the scoreline look a bit more even. I would say Alaves, competed well. They made it, quite difficult for Atletico Madrid, but in the end, Atletico Madrid managed to break through the back line. One of the things with Alaves is that they don't really, sit back too much. They do play kind of a open football. They don't have a 5-3-2 or 5-5-1 going into the game. They have a standard 4-2-3-1 where you might see the CDM drop in the center back pair and make it a back 3, but usually they're more going forward, especially when they're on the ball as well. So credit to them, but in the end it wasn't enough, and they end up losing 3 points. But their final match in all competition was a 1-0 win against Almeria. Now this is the time when they're playing a team that's at their level. They're at home. They need this win, of course. They end up winning the game. It was a header, I believe, in the 80th minute from a corner kick set piece. During the game, they had a few chances, so did Almeria, to be fair, as well. So you could say that it wasn't really them battering them. It wasn't really them dominating the game. I think they put in a good showing for themselves. I think Almeria did have, the opponent's luck chances here and there, but in the end, Alaves, this is a very crucial victory for them, and of course is their last match where they end up winning 1-0. So overall, final thoughts on Alaves. They're your typical lower opposition side in La Liga, and of course your typical newly promoted team as well. They're struggling a bit, but their goal again this season is just to survive. They don't want to get relegated again. Luis Garcia is their manager. He is the man who brought them from the second division into the first division. He's done very well for them, for their standards, of course. And just a place to look out for, I wouldn't say there is that many. They have Roja, I believe, one of their forwards. They have Haji, of course, Haji the legend who played for Barcelona. His son plays now for Alaves. He's the one to look out for. I would say the defense is full of veterans, and they're very tall center backs as well. They have the striker up front, the big tall guy up front as well. He's very deadly. He's been getting the goals. If you look at the past few games against Villarreal, he got the goal. I believe also the one against Atletico Madrid, if I'm not mistaken. So they're a team that struggled to create, but do finish the chances they do end up creating when they do create a little bit here and there. So for Barcelona, very simple. Play your game, dominate the possession, hold that midfield as well. Don't leave too many chances at the back. Move forward, get your chances, and of course be clinical as well. Don't leave any chances for Alaves on the break as well. They do have pace up front in their front four as well, but this is a team that can cause some damage if you allow it. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Cancelo, Balde, Araujo, Martinez, Ferran, Pedri, Lewandowski, Raphinha, Naki Peña, Joao Felix, Christensen, Alonso, Romeu, Gundogan, Koundé, Astrolaga, Lamine Yamal, Casado, and Fermin Lopez from the last squad list, no changes whatsoever. No players coming back from injury, no players injured. So you could say it's, as expected, good news. But apart from the likes of Frenkie de Jong possibly being included in this match, there are no real surprises or real changes from the previous squad list. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Xavi Hernandez. The press conference this morning, of course, that's a lot of questions from the media about the current situation of the club moving forward. What's the plan? How does the criticism been feeling over the past few days after the poor showings we've seen recently? So let's get and see what Xavi had to say this morning in the presser. He starts off by saying that we want to get back to the right game and the right sensations. We have to demand the maximum because this is Barcelona. It's time to propose alternatives, variants. We must be more faithful than ever to our identity. The footballers are hungry to win. I have been in many dressing rooms throughout my career, and on a human level, this is one of the best I've seen. I spoke with Laporta always after every single game. He conveys maximum confidence in myself and my management, you could say. Then as on Frenkie de Jong coming back, and also on the fitness of Pedri, if he's at 100% or not. He said that Frenkie de Jong will be ready for the match against Rayo Vallecano after the international break. He did some individual training today, Frenkie de Jong, but I think in 2 weeks' time he should be good to go for that match. And Pedri's at 100% ready to start. We have to recover the positional game, the nine, the interiors, the pivots, so that way we have more of a fluid football, and that way we can create more chances as well. He then asked if this is the worst moment for him as the Barcelona manager. He said that no, the worst was last season. It's not a crisis or anything like that. You can talk about the lesser moments, yes. And I agree with that. I think, of course, last season you lost the Clasico, got knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League in the space of a week. So that was, of course, absolutely detrimental. Right now, we've lost one game, won one game, but we've been playing absolutely dreadfully. So I wouldn't say it's a crisis, so to speak, but I would say the light bulb is definitely on for sure. Then he's asked on Araujo how he's doing and if he'll play tomorrow. He said that Araujo will be important tomorrow, as he always is when he's at 100%. Then asked about Inigo Martinez getting called up for the Spain national team. He said that we've talked about Inigo Martinez many times. He's a natural leader. He has many virtues. It was a request of mine to sign him, and I think it has been a very positive signing for the group. That's Xavi right there, giving himself a little pat on the back. Then he's asked on Balde how he wasn't called up to the Spain national team and how he's doing. He said, look, I'm delighted with Balde. That he hasn't been called up with the Spain national team is something that you have to ask the national team coach. For me, that's an absolute W. Balde can stay back, rest, recover, and then we have, of course, big games coming up afterwards. Then asked on Lewandowski how he's playing and how he's not scoring, how he's not even looking decent at all, saying that he said that, look, Lewandowski's at 100% fitness, but we have been supplying Lewandowski with many passes, and that comes back to, the 9, the interior, the pivot, all playing well to help Lewandowski. Then he was asked on Cancelo whether or not he can play at left back, if Xavi, plans to use him at left back at some point in the future this season. Said, look, Cancelo can play at left back. He can play inverted. He can also play out wide as a winger. It's good to have such a versatile player at your disposal. He's then asked about Mark ter Stegen's message on how the team should turn it around. Of course, ter Stegen, I think, was tweeting that the team has to turn it around and things like that. He said that, look, I agree with him. Mark is one of the captains. He knows the club well, and he's fully aware of the requirements. The games we didn't win were due to our mistakes. Mark is a natural leader. It's okay to respond like that. It's a great atmosphere within the dressing room. That's not a problem. The problem is on me, and we must try to find the best solution. We have to be honest, we didn't play well. We weren't up to the team, the expectations, or the circumstances, so there will be criticism. This is Barcelona, and that's how it works. And finally, Xavi concluded off by saying that people who have always criticized me my whole life, you have to get used to it. You always become immune to the criticism, and that's normal. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Deportivo Alaves tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be very difficult to predict because we're going to the international break. Some players need rest. We're not playing well. That means you want to maybe change a couple things here and there. But I've gone with this lineup on the screen right now for Xavi. I've gone with ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Cancelo, Koundé, Araujo, and Alejandro Balde. Midfield three of Romeu, Gundogan, and Pedri. And a front three of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and João Felix. So first in defense, I think this is the real tricky situation for Xavi. Of course, Araujo and Christensen started midweek. You have Inigo and Koundé who got a full rest. He might just bring them both in. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But I feel like not starting Araujo for Xavi and when he's fully fit is kind of an L. So I think he's going to admit that Araujo is probably our best defender. He has to play. Of course, the fullbacks will stay the same as we desperately need this victory. Midfield three, of course, Gavi is suspended. The question is, will Romeu start or Fermin Lopez, because I believe 100% Gundogan and Pedri will end up starting this game, and I think he will go with Romeu in the pivot. Poor Gundogan, Cancelo, man, they desperately need some rest, and they're absolutely all over the gaff. Final front three, of course, Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Joao Felix. I think Lewandowski and Joao Felix will 100% start. It's just who is the other forward. It could be Raphinha, it could be Lamine Yamal. I don't think it will be Varane. I think it'll either be between Raphinha or Lamine Yamal. If Xavi is really ballsy, he might go with Lamine Yamal. I think he'll go with Raphinha, go for with experience. This probably right now you could say is 1 or 2 players away from our strongest side. And again, against a team like Deportivo Alaves, definitely Xavi should be getting the win. And that's why I think that Xavi Hernandez was selected for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach, and I have made a few tweaks and changes from my Xavi's lineup prediction. I have gone with this lineup on the screen right now. I've gone with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Cancelo, Koundé, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde, midfield three of Gundogan, Fermin Lopez, and Pedri, and a front three of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Joao Felix. Look, I desperately wanted to rest Cancelo and Gundogan, but my thought process is that we're at a point now where we just need a win, and I think a win is more important than resting key players. Unfortunately, if we had a backup right back, I would have played them, but we don't. And I don't think putting Koundé there is realistic because Koundé's been playing at center back the whole time. And I would bring in Koundé, Inigo Martinez. I would love to see them play together more often. I think they're both rested midweek. They can both play. I also want to rest Araujo because he has some discomfort midweek. He's going to go with Uruguay soon, so I don't want to risk anything. Of course, Balde, no international duty for him, so he can start. Again, the midfield, I picked Fermin over Romeu, of course. And that front three, I've also gone with Lamine Yamal ahead of Raphinha. I think Lamine Yamal did more than Raphinha midweek in the space of 2 minutes than Raphinha's 60 minutes. I think that definitely deserves him a start, in my opinion. I think this team is more balanced and has a more likely chance of winning than Xavi's lineup, but I think both lineups are definitely capable of going out there at home as well and beating Alaves. But that's the lineup that I have selected for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you'd rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I've gone with an official prediction of Barcelona winning this match by 3-0. You could say I'm optimistic, but I think the opponent, the occasion, the circumstances, the location of the game, just all favors Barcelona. I would be shocked if we don't win this game. How we win it, I have no idea, but I am very, very confident that the 3 points will be coming to Barcelona. It's just how we do it. Will it be a narrow victory, tight victory, comfortable victory, absolute demolition? I have no idea. I do see Barcelona keeping a clean sheet. I would be shocked if we concede. I will say this though, if we concede first, we're gonna be on toast. Absolutely. If we concede first, whether it's in the 60th minute, 3rd minute, because then Alaves is gonna park the bus, they're gonna hit on the brake, and it's just gonna make it even more difficult. So for my sanity and my official prediction, I would just say as long as we don't concede first, 100% will win this game. I'm confident that Barcelona can get over the line. Again, with the line that we are expecting, the opponent, where we are, the occasion situation, I'm expecting some goals, so I have gone Barcelona win this match by 3-0. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the score line will be. So that was my match preview for Barcelona versus Deportivo Alaves in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to see, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with? You're the manager. Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me, watch the game with me. Follow after the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Huge game ahead. Anything other than the 3 points would be catastrophic beyond belief. Take care and Forza Barca.